Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. Let me tell you some big news that you already know. I guarantee you in your life, you will come across idiots in your life. You'll come across people who think they know better than you, people who want to control your life, people who will disrespect you, people who will not do what is right, what you deserve, what you expected from them, people who will hurt you. Today we're going to learn a lesson from David for this real life situation we all face. Here's the backstory. David's and his men have been taking care of the sheep of a man named Nabal. He has a lot of flocks. He's a rich man. And David and his men have been just kind of guarding around them so that nothing happens. Nobody comes and bothers them. Now it's the time where they shear the sheep. And Nabal is having a big celebration. Big celebration. Food, roast lamb, everything. They're eating. They're dancing, whatever they're doing, they're having a great celebration. So David sends some of his men over and says, tell Nabal what we were doing. We're guarding his flock, and maybe he could send some provisions to us. Instead of doing that simple act of courtesy, what Nabal does, he insults David to David's men. And David's men come back and they tell David how Nabal insulted him and refused to even give them a piece of bread. That's the situation. An idiot. Now listen to 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 13, and then down to verse 22. David said to his men, each of you strap on your sword. So they did, and David strapped his on as well. They're ready for battle. Then David says in verse 22, may God deal with David, be it ever so severely, if by morning I leave alive one male of all who belong to him. His anger, David gets angry at being insulted and disrespected and not treated the way he deserves to be treated. He gets angry, and the anger starts controlling David to the point where he and his men, 400 men, have their swords on and they're ready to slaughter innocent people who had nothing to do with it, annihilate an entire village. Anger will control you. Jealousy will control you. Saul is the perfect example. Bitterness will control you. Fear will control your life. Anxiety will control your life. Shame will control your life. Guilt will control your life. Pride will control your life. Any emotion has the potential to control your life. Now, what I note here is nowhere does David inquire of God. He's all along been inquiring of God. God, should I do this? God, should I do this? His anger is now controlling him. He doesn't even stop to ask God. He doesn't trust God. It says he's not following Proverbs chapter 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. He ignores that. He's fretting now. And he wrote Psalm 37, about do not fret when evildoers succeed in their ways. He is fretting, and the anger and the fretting is controlling him, and he's about to do something he will regret. And it would change the whole course of his life. And I'll tell you, he would lose God's anointing if he continues. That happens to me, and I imagine it can happen to you also. The key is to catch it. Be aware before you send that text responding, before you pick up the phone and give someone a piece of your mind, before you respond in a way that God doesn't want you to respond. Catch yourself, because those emotions will control you. Tomorrow, we're going to follow up this message and see what happens to David and how he stops his anger from controlling him. Or I should say, how God takes control of David. God bless you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.